Hi, everybody. I'm going to show you how to install the firmware, the new firmware on your PSD, which is down here, and I'm going to switch cameras, and I'll show you guys how to do this on screen as well. So let me share my screen. And you will have gotten an email, of course, that I'm going to send out with a link in it. It says, for those of you that have the PSD, here's your firmware update. So I'm going to click on that link, and it's going to take me to Google. And then up here in the right-hand corner, you can do it download, or you can do it up here is also download. So I'm going to click download, and it's very small file. It won't take very long. So next I want to save the file, and it'll be called PSD 21120 version 23. So we're up to version 23 of the firmware. So click OK, and it's going to download it. It won't take very long. Now you see up here, I have my download button, and if you open it with Chrome, it'll show up down here on the bottom. But we can't just open it. You have to go to the folder of where it's at, okay? And there it is. So what I suggest doing is getting it out of your downloads folder, because you're not going to find it there. You want to put it in your software folder. So I'm going to cut, and you could also copy if you want to have an extra copy of it. And I'm going to put it into my documents in my SE5 2000 folder, okay? And I'm going to paste it in here. Okay, so now we have it. And if you notice, we're going to use this USB utility right here to install it. So I'm going to switch my camera. Let's go to the overhead camera. So now you can see, it's kind of small, but you can see it. Now I can make this a little bigger. Oh, that's good. There we go. Hey, this is good. Okay, so first of all, you want to turn on your PSD, and it'll be flashing. And you might notice that my SE5 is not turned on. So do not turn on your SE5, because we want to connect just with the PSD. And then you want to start the USB utility 1-0-1-5A. That's the fastest one. You could use any of them, but this is the best one to choose. And then we're going to browse to find that file, and it's going to be in the same folder as your SE5 software, where we just put it there, right? So I'm going to go to SE5 English, and it's not going to show up because it searches for special endings here of the names of the files. So you have to go down here and switch it to all files, and then you can go down and you can find it. And it's called PSD 21201 version 23, PSDC. That's the one you want to do. So you open that and then transfer. And now it's uploading that file, all of the new firmware, into the PSD. Now nothing changes here on the PSD. It'll just keep flashing like normal while it's transferring. And your transfer thing might stop like this and say not responding. Don't worry about it. That happens, especially when I'm recording videos. Yours might just keep going all the way to the end, which is fine. If it says not responding, don't even worry about it, because at the end, it'll say transfer complete. So I'm going to actually let this run the entire time and entertain you while this is happening, so that you can see what happens with the PSD after the file is transferred. So it's still transferring, and it should be almost done. It's a pretty big file, actually. And then actually it installs it into the PSD. Right now it's transferring it into a buffer, into another computer chip inside the PSD, and storing it there to make sure that all of the bytes are 100% correct. And then it compares it inside of here, inside of the PSD, it compares it with the information that it's supposed to do. See, now it says transfer complete. And look at what happened to the blinky light here. It went crazy a little bit, and that's normal. That's what it's supposed to do. And it's going to do several things. It'll blink fast, then it'll blink slow, like that. See, very good. And then it'll actually disconnect from your PC. for a period of time, you'll probably hear it go blonk, 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 blonk. That's normal. I think it does that twice, but this takes 3 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Maybe it's 3.5 minutes. So we're going to actually sit through this because I want to make sure that you guys do the same thing at the same time. I'm not going to cut the video out, but just go ahead and let it do its thing. It takes 3 minutes. In the meantime, as I said in the newsletter, oh, look, see it just disconnected, and now it's going to reconnect. So it does a lot of things. In the newsletter, we also have software, new software update that's going to go along with this. And I'll show you what we can do with it. But this will allow you to have 8 levels of sensitivity levels, which we didn't have before. We used to have 5. And then what's really cool, and that's what we spent so much time doing this. This took us like, what, 3.5 months or something? The really cool thing is that once you get your sensitivity level set to where you like it, then you can lock it in. And you can lock that sensitivity level in, and you can also unlock it later if you want to recalibrate. But I'll show you how to do that because it's really, just really awesome. Totally awesome. Okay, it's still doing its flashy thing. And then when it goes back to a regular flash, that means that it's done. There you heard it reconnect again, doing one of those things again. Well, okay, I think, is that normal? I'm not quite sure if that's the normal blink. I think that's the normal blink when it reconnected again. And that was about 3 minutes. So that should be it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my IDF software. And I'm going to turn on my SE5 because you need both of them. You have to have the SE5 turned on and also the PSD. And then I'll show you these different levels. Okay, so we're connected. We've got both the SE5 down here connected and the PSD. So I'll just, maybe I'll make a new session for this. And I'm going to select myself and select myself. And I'll just go to the intake clearances. Now you see the PSD down here. And when I rub on it, you see it causes the waveform to change. Now I'm going to take a reading on that very first one and see where we're at. Okay, so you guys are not hearing the beep. Let me turn on that beep sound because that's nice for you to hear. Share the sound. Okay, so I got a stick at 94, and that's pretty good for me already. I kind of like the feeling of it, but I will show you how to calibrate it. So now I'm going to dial up from 0. Okay, now I'm going to change these settings, and it'll pop up a window. And right now it's set at 3 and 3, which is what it comes stock as when you open it. I'm going to change that to a little more sensitive, just like that. And then you have to click Save Settings. Now it turns it up a lot. You see how high the waveform is? So after you do that, even the light stayed on, you see that? And so you have to kind of lay your hand on there and put a little pressure on to bring that back down to the bottom. And now I'm going to take a reading on energy purity. And it might be too sensitive for me. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, it's still pretty good. It was a little bit more sensitive. So the increments are pretty, subtle between all of them because we have 8 levels now instead of 5. I'm going to go back to 3. I like that better, and I'm going to save it. And again, I have to reset the calibration. I'm going to try it once more. Let's try interferences. Okay, I like that better. So I'm going to go back and lock it there. So here it says sensitivity gain locked. I'm going to lock that and save it. And then it shows a little locked sign there. So every reading I take from now on will have that sensitivity level. And I like that. So every reading now that I take will have that sensitivity level. And I like that setting better. Got a little bit higher interference today. I'm in a different place than I normally work at home. I mean, I'm in our other home, but I can see that there's a little higher interference levels here than normal. Normally they're like 0.1 and 0. So that's interesting. Okay, one more. I'm going to just check my general vitality today, and that'll be pretty much it. Let's see where I'm at today. 94. That's pretty much where I'm normal. 92, 94 is kind of my normal. Okay, so let's switch this back to the other video. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and there we are. So if you have any questions or you need help with this, of course, I'm available to help you with that. And then I have another PDF that you download, which I have in the newsletter for you to follow along on how to install the software. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Enjoy this. This is really amazing.